Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. Today, we're going to be going over grand format. We're going to be going over a lot of the large format products that we offer and how they can really help your business grow and profit. My name is Jose Valencia, and I'm also joined by Todd Kamali. He'll be covering the questions after the presentation. Large format is one of the faster growing segments in print. It's really everywhere. It's an essential part of any small or large business, and even for other types of events. Many different markets really use large format a lot. The retail market, for signage, real estate agents, charity events, concerts. There are many different applications where large format really comes into play as the primary print subject. So first, let's go through some of the industry information or, some of the marketing data that we've gathered for you directly in relation to signage. And these are based off of surveys from the International Sign Association or ISA. So these numbers come directly from them. Currently, 58% of companies are predicting a double-digit growth for 2018. So that means a lot more signage coming to everybody really this year. Some of the key sectors that they identified are in healthcare, 69% in healthcare. So really great for, event signage, especially tablecloths, event tents. That sort of stuff is really great in the healthcare section. 55% in downtown districts. So really retail space, government printing, a lot of different signage and applications there with adhesive vinyl for the window graphics. Maybe even fabric flags for the outside, especially on, kind of light poles or just out in front in the retail space. Those are really good for downtown districts. And then 54% in restaurants. So outdoor banners is a really big one. Again, window decals or adhesive decals is another big one for restaurants. But also think about tabletop applications. So tabletop displays, miniature retractables or retractable banners for the inside that kind of display a menu. Those are really great for restaurants, and they're really, they're printing them all the time because they refresh their menu or they refresh, they do a promotion on a special dish. Those restaurants really need that type of signage printing all the time. Now, I talked about a couple of specific markets, but really the possibilities of large format signage and display printing are out there, and it's really everywhere. Once you get to know our products and know the different applications for it, you'll start to see the possibilities for yourself. Once you go out there, on the street or into a retail shop, you'll start to see all the different applications you can use. You can have tabletop applications, indoor banner, retractable applications. On the outside, you'll see banners everywhere, flags, window graphics. There are so many different substrates and solutions that you can offer to your customers, whether they be a small business or large business, that really, can fit into their marketing plans. So on screen is another good example of, how you can see large format everywhere. This in relation to food service restaurants. On the outside, you'll be able to see flags, window graphics, schedules on the outside or menus. You can see a banner hung up, an A-frame right out front. And then if you look in the inside, you'll be able to see, retractables or roll-up displays, menus, tabletop displays that you can use. They always need the menus are changing all the time. They're always going to need printing for those menus. Even a floor graphic, you can see there's floor graphics on the floor that you can provide for the inside. So start to think whenever you go into somewhere, even a restaurant or even if it's not one of your customers, start to think about all the creative applications that you have with large format. That said, one of the best things you can do is be ready with large format knowledge and research that you've done, so that way you can have that edge over your competitors. First, I would say get to know our products, our large format products. We have a lot of variety to offer in the large format section. All the products that I've already mentioned, we can offer those, from tablecloths, fabric flags, outdoor indoor banners, retractables, lots of window graphics. We also have adhesive materials like floor graphics, wall graphics, bumper stickers. We have a lot. Yard signage is another really big one. We have the H-stakes available. They're printed on coroplast. So there's a lot of different products that we can offer. And the best thing you can do is have that knowledge of what to be able to offer your customers, because that's really, where that knowledge is going to come in handy when you go and try to win a quote from them or be able to, sell to them. So for now, let's focus on 4 of our most popular products. Our banners, our rigid signage, flags, and adhesive vinyl. So first up is banners. We have a couple different options when it comes to banner substrates that you can print with us. We have a 13-ounce banner, a 10-ounce indoor banner, a mesh banner, and then we have a double-sided what's called blockout material banner as well. So before I get into describing the banners, I do want to mention that we've actually lowered the pricing of our 13-ounce outdoor banners. It's pretty much the standard used around the industry. It's a 13-ounce Scrum vinyl, and I'm going to talk about it right now, but I do just want to mention that we've lowered the pricing to 99 cents per square foot. There's no minimum order quantity. It does still include the free local delivery and pickup services, so it's a really, really great value, especially if you're looking for outdoor banners. So definitely check those out. Check the pricing online, 99 cents a square foot now. So on screen right now, you'll be able to see how we actually print our banners. And we print really to the highest quality because we have the highest quality machinery to actually print it on. You'll also see 2 options that we have for banners that we do, which is grommeting and hems. The hems are heat welded, so you can see that the quality for the hemming is really great because, the hand sewn kind of comes apart, especially with vinyl banners, very easily. This is not a sewn banner, it's a heat welded banner. Also the grommeting, you can get that in a couple different options. You can get it on corners only, or you can get every grommets on every 2 feet of the banner. So, some two of the great options that we have for banners there. First to go on the 13-ounce banner. 13-ounce is an outdoor Scrim vinyl, if you're familiar with that. It's kind of a rougher texture. Really great, kind of the standard that's used around the industry for any outdoor banner application. It's even used for billboards sometimes. Good for, signage outside of a building. It's not doesn't fade too quickly. Weather resistant. You can, it can rain on it and nothing's going to happen to it. So it's a really durable material for the outdoor usage. Our next banner substrate is the 10-ounce indoor banner material. It's a really nice looking vinyl, smooth finish, good for indoor applications. Not recommended for outdoor because the material itself is a little bit more delicate, so definitely use it for indoors. But what this material allows is a higher resolution print. So if people are walking up to it, you can see the print very clearly. It's not as rough or as porous as the other 13-ounce banner material. So it's a really good, indoor banner. It's kind of the standard indoor banner. It's the same material if you're familiar with our retractable banners. It's the same exact material that's used in those retractable banners. So again, really clear, nice printing, good resolution on it. So definitely use these for any indoor application. Next up is our mesh banner material. And this is kind of a comparable banner material to the 13-ounce banner, but it's for a high wind application. So if you're looking for something that can be outside in a windy area, where it's not going to really fly away or maybe you need to see through it just a little bit, the mesh banner that we have is ideal for that situation. Wind can pass through it really easily. It's sort of see-through. But from far away, it really looks like pretty solid banner. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at a specific area to where you're going to put up the banner. So the next product category that we'll talk about is our rigid signage. We have a couple different substrates for rigid signs. Coroplast, we have two thicknesses, a 4mm and a 10mm. We have foam core, and then we have a 3mm PVC as well. And one thing to keep in mind about all our rigid signs, and really, I guess all of our large format printing, is that it's printed on the material itself. So that includes actually the banners that I just talked about, the rigid signs, the flags, and the adhesive vinyl that I'll be talking about. Everything is printed on the material itself. So there are other companies out there that will print a label and stick it to the Coroplast. We're not doing that. We actually print on the substrates themselves. So it's a much better durability, higher durability with anything that you get from us. So before I get into the Coroplast signage, I do want to mention a really great promo that we have going on right now. All 4mm Coroplast signs will be getting $5 flat rate shipping in the US. It's a really great deal especially because of all of our different facilities across the United States. Shipping is already really quick to you, but now with the addition of a $5 flat rate, it really makes it worthwhile, to check us out for that. Not only that, but we have free next day turnaround on Coroplast signage as well. So that, together with the $5 flat rate shipping, really makes this promotion, unbeatable. I really challenge you to go out there and find another outsourcer that can do this sort of promotion. But definitely we are doing a flat rate shipping, $5 plus the free next day. Really makes our yard signs. You can get all your yard signs for that. And it makes it a really, really great deal. So definitely check it out on the website. First up in rigid signs is Coroplast, 4mm and 10mm substrates. Yard signs are really the standard for a lot of large format businesses out there. Election time, real estate agents. There's a lot of different applications that you can use yard signs for. The standard is the 4mm Coroplast, which we sell with H stakes as well. And those H stakes are steel, so they're very durable. Great for outdoor applications. You can leave them out all day long in the rain and nothing's really going to happen to them. But that's kind of the standard yard sign that you'll see out there, is a 4mm Coroplast. Next up is our foam core material. And foam core, if you're not familiar with it, it's two pieces of white cardboard sandwiching a foam core, and that's why it has that name of foam core. There's foam right in the middle of it, giving it a little bit of a dimension. Now, because it's paper and because of the material, it's not suitable for outdoor use, but it's great for indoor signage, indoor temporary signage, or if you have an application where you're doing a presentation, you can mount it on an easel, you can mount it on the wall with some double-sided tape. It's very light. And it's pretty durable for the indoor usage, but again, I wouldn't recommend it for long-term use. Definitely something more temporary that you might be able to find. Now, if you're looking for something for indoor signage that you need for a lot longer, or that isn't temporary, then I would recommend our 3mm PVC. It's a solid piece of PVC. Printed, again, the material is printed on, so it's great for directional signage, good for inserts. If you have signage already, most of the time you can insert this piece of PVC into it, and it'll create a new brand or a new look to some sort of signage that's already there. So definitely keep that in mind. But it is a solid piece of PVC, so it's great for indoor and outdoor applications. You can use this outdoor. It is plastic, so it's very durable for those type of applications. Next category we'll talk about on the large format category is fabric flags. And the method that we use, one thing you should know, the method that we use for flags is dye sublimated printing. Dye sublimation means that we actually impregnate the fabric with the ink. So it makes it very durable. It makes it a lot brighter, a lot more colorful. So it's a really great method to actually print on fabric. So one thing I do want to mention before we start getting into it is we've lowered pricing on all of our fabric material prints. So everything that is printed on fabric, we've lowered the pricing on. And some good examples is on our fabric feather flags. So I have two examples here that I can show you guys. Our 8-foot outdoor flags, they used to be $79.10 and now they're $55. We've reduced that to $55. Another good example is our 10-foot indoor flags. It used to be $90.07 and now they're $62 on the website. So definitely check out all of our fabric products, especially the flags that I'm about to mention right now and talk about. We've really been, reducing and going through our pricing, making sure you guys are as competitive as possible in the marketplace. So definitely check out all of our fabric products and especially the flags, which we've reduced the pricing on. So with fabric flags, we have 3 different types of flags that you can print with us. We have pole flags, which are the more standard looking flag, more rectangular. It's the type of flags that you put on a light post. You'll see those around maybe the neighborhood. And then we have 2 more retail centric flags. A feather flag, which is the kind of standard flag that you might see outside of a retail shop. And then we have a more stylish kind of teardrop flag that has that kind of teardrop shape that you might see. And usually you see those like at car dealerships. They're a little bit more eye-catching because of the shape is a little bit different. With the feather flags and the teardrop flags, we have 2 options available for the hardware of the actual flag. We do sell the hardware, so you can buy the hardware and the fabric flag, or you can actually just buy the fabric itself. So if you have the hardware already, or if your customer has the hardware already, you can just buy the fabric on its own. So the 2 options we have for the hardware are an indoor and an outdoor style. The indoor style is a cross base that's collapsible, kind of collapses within itself. And then the outdoor is a ground spike. So if you have an application where it's going to be outside in the grass or in the dirt, you can get outdoor hardware that has a spike, so it kind of digs itself into the ground, so that way it doesn't move around or anything outside. The indoor hardware, you can use it for an outdoor application, but it's not really recommended. It does come with a water bag. So that bag could be filled with water, or bladder, I guess you could call it as well. The bag can be filled with water. It's very heavy, so you can put it on top of the cross base. So that way it doesn't, the flag doesn't really move around too much. But usually if it's in a dirt application or in grass, I would recommend the outdoor hardware or the spike. That works a lot better. With either hardware that you purchase, it does come with a carrying case. So it has slots, or you can put all the poles in, and even that bladder you can put also in that bag. So now that you know a bit about what we offer as far as large format, you'll start to see that there's a lot of possibilities for large format signage and displays. And it's really, you'll start noticing it everywhere. Once you get to know our products again, you'll start to know the types of applications that you can use it for and what customers to really go out there and target. You'll also start noticing that the type of area and application is important when it comes to large format items. Where is a product going to be? Is it going to be outside or inside? What's going to be the viewing distance that this large format item is going to have? A good example is the banners. 2 different takes on it, really. For example, if you're talking about viewing distance, do you choose an outdoor banner or an indoor banner? Are people going to be walking up to the banner and looking at the banner up close? If so, you might want to choose an indoor banner because of the clearer print. The smooth surface allows for a higher resolution print. Outdoor banners are really meant to be viewed from a distance. So they look fine from a distance, but when you get up close, you'll start to see the texture of the material, and the print isn't as sharp as you might be able to see it from afar. But an indoor banner, the print is really high resolution, and you'll be able to see it from up close, and it'll look perfect. Another consideration with outdoor banners is it going to be in a high wind area? So if you're talking about if it's going to be in a wind area, you might want to opt for the mesh banner that will allow that wind to pass through the banner without cutting slits into the 13-ounce material. You won't need the wind slits in there, and it won't really, the wind slits aren't really a good look for a 13-ounce banner. You might want to opt for the mesh banner so that way the wind can pass through it really easily. But these are all things that you have to keep in mind because it will affect the solution and the substrate that you print it on. And not only for you, but your customer too, because they might not be thinking of these questions ahead of time. All they want is really something that they can put in front of their store or, some sort of application that, they might be thinking about, but they're not thinking about all the details exactly. So always keep those questions in mind. And this also positions yourself as a knowledgeable resource. And it's really the best way to be a true partner to your customer. And helping your customer figure these things out really, it'll give you that trust to your customer. Your customer will gain your trust and come back to you next time they have some sort of application that they need a large format item for.
Thank you, Jose, for that overview of large format. Now we're going to go more so into covering some of the file recommendations that are required from 4 over. A few that are listed up here on the screen would be some bleed that's required. More so for rigid signs, we require a 1/2 inch bleed. In any case, if you're unsure as to what type of bleed is required on some of these signs, we do have a great substrate and FAQ guide that can be referenced that we're going to move over to in the next few slides. Another quick recommend would be 60, 40, 40, 100 for a nice, deep, dark, rich black for rigid substrates or banners. However, there's always an exception to the rule. If you are printing the polyester fabric with us for the flags or the table throws, we require that you use 100, 100, 100, 100 to get that deep, dark, rich black for the fabric. Layered files, of course, are always recommended to be flattened before your file upload. And as always, we require a CMYK color build on your artwork before submission. If you do upload an RGB file versus a CMYK file, you will definitely see some color shifts. So it's always good to take that preventative measure and convert your file to CMYK before the upload. Next, we're going to give you a quick overview on our large format size and shape reference chart. This will be the perfect tool when you're out there selling, if you need to get face-to-face in front of a customer, or even if you're unsure yourself, you'll be able to go through and reference out and figure out the exact size that might be necessary for an upcoming trade show or flag in front of a building, and so on and so forth. In addition to the file requirements that we went over a few slides ago, 4over does offer a great resources section, which will allow you to go in and pull up grand format FAQs. So anytime anything is questionable to you, especially on the topic of bleeds, bleeds can differ based off the substrate. So for instance, 13-ounce banners, which is a very commonly ordered item, really doesn't require any crop marks or bleed. However, a rigid sign is the type of product which requires a 1/2 inch bleed from front to back. So anytime you're unsure or you have a question that's hasn't been answered, I recommend referring back to the large format FAQ to get the correct direction. Next, we're going to go through and show you how to place a live order for yard signs. So most importantly, you're going to locate our grand format section, select the product of signs, go through a few more steps here, a quick build on the product, put in your width and height, select the quantity. I see this product here qualifies for a free next day turnaround. Go in and select the finishing options. If you want an H stake or not, you can add that. Very important to set a job name. here before you advance to the next screen and select your shipping method. So in this case, I selected to ship the order to myself, and we're offering a $5 flat rate shipping fee for up to 12 yard signs with free next day turnaround. Next, we're going to move over and jump into the file upload process. So now that we have the order in the system, we're going to require you to upload the front and back file for your order. First, you'll designate the front, then the back, and click upload your artwork. Now, another necessary step, and this applies for almost most orders with 4over, would be the proofing stage. So we'll go through and check the confirmation email first, make sure the order came in properly, double check the details. After the confirmation email is received, you're going to receive a preview email. This preview email is going to give you a link to go through and make sure the safety lines and the cut line areas are all correct for the front and back files. Proof the order, make sure everything is okay to prevent any reprints, then send the job to production. Also, another cool tool that this proofing system supports is checking for rotation. So you'll see there's a 3D rotation tool on screen here, which will allow you to go through and take that extra step to make sure the rotation on the file upload is correct. And with a few quick and easy clicks here, you're done and sending the job to production. So I know we've covered a lot on this entire webinar, but just to recap, we want to make sure, once you're out there on the field or, face to face with the customer or on the phone with the customer, you want to remember to ask yourself a few questions here. So when selling large format, we covered this already, but it's important to remember, where the product is going to live for your customer. Is it going to be in a windy area, a lawn, a window? Do they need it for a trade show? What the viewing distance of the product is going to be, and also what the life expectancy of the product will be. So these are a few things that we're going to leave you with, and we thank you today for sitting through our webinar with us. Now we're going to take a quick pause for any questions from the audience. Okay, again, everybody, thank you for joining us for our webinar. Just a quick mention, we received a lot of requests for that large format sizing guide, which we will be emailing to you once the webinar is done. And also we want to let you know that we have a quick 4-question survey that we'd like you to participate in as soon as we're finished. So if you have any questions, feel free to go through and drop it through on the questions tab here on GoToWebinar, and I have a few that have come in so far. One would be from John. He was asking if our flags are UV coated, and the answer to that question is no. Our flags are printed using a dye sublimation process, which is a high quality print, good to be viewed from near and far, very high definition. So and the reason why the flag is not UV coated is because the color is actually bonded to the fabric. So hopefully that answers that question for John out there. Mark also had a question regarding the outdoor use of the bladder or water bag on flags. And unfortunately, we don't recommend that you use that water bag for outdoor flags. If you're using an indoor stand, then it's a different story. Then you can go ahead and use that to weigh down the stand, if it's temporary signage being used outside the building and you want to bring it back in. So that would be the best application for that. Okay, let's see. So we had another question come in from Pedro regarding if we had some templates to mount properly on our design. So our FAQ section would be the best recommendation I can give here to go back and reference, the recommended maybe file scale or resolution that's recommended. We typically want things to be built to size. We do have templates for specific products like flags and retractable banners that can point you in the correct direction. So hopefully we're able to answer your question there, Pedro. If not, feel free to reach out to us, give you more clarity on that. Okay, so we had a question that came in from Jonathan regarding what type of life expectancy you have on outdoor flags on average. So it really depends on the climate, on as far as where you're mounting the flag. But typically, I want to say the lifespan of a flag is good from anywhere to 7 to 10 months, or even all the way up to a year, before you start to experience, some wear from the sun, possibly a little bit of fading. Okay, let's see. So we had a question that came in from Anthony regarding the thickness of our rigid sign options. So as of now, I'm not sure if you're aware or not, we do offer 10 millimeter coroplast, which is a very heavy duty substrate used for maybe windier areas that you'd need something a little heavier. And also we offer the 4 millimeter and the 3 millimeter PVC, which are probably the most rigid substrates we have. But if you guys have suggestions for if you wanted something that's a little more specialty, feel free to just send those requests into us, and we can see if we can facilitate your needs on that for future. So we had another question that just came in. If we can offer custom shapes for flags. So as of now, we do have the standard feather and teardrop flags. However, we may be exploring options to offer different contour cutting for different substrates for the future. So hang tight, possibly in the future we might be able to offer that. So we got a few more minutes here. Let's see. So we got a question that came in regarding flags and neon ink being printed on the background. And unfortunately, we do not offer the neon inks for the time being, but it will be something we will explore for sure for the future. So let's just see if we can squeeze in one more question here. So there was a question that came in from Lorraine here is to see if we're going to offer special shaping on 4 millimeter coroplast signs. And the answer to that would be currently we are accepting contour cutting on 4 millimeter signs as a custom order. However, we do intend on launching that on our website as a standard order further down the year, or maybe in summer, I'd say so. But if you do have a request, you guys have the demand for that type of product, please go ahead and enable a custom estimate on our website, and we can definitely get you a price on that. So we're getting close to the end of the webinar, and I just wanted to take a second and thank everybody that had joined us. And just a reminder, there's going to be another quick 4-question survey after we're completed. And also, we're going to be sharing that large format sizing chart for you. That's going to be a good communication tool between you and your customer, and for knowledge of yourself in your shop. So again, thank you, and have a great day.